Are you a coffee lover who needs two pots brewing at the same time? Or are you just looking for a single reliable machine for your kitchen? Who should actually consider a twin brew system? Who can safely skip it? And does the price make sense for the everyday buyer? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first started looking at commercial-style brewers for my home office, the biggest hesitation was the fear of ending up with a bulky, over-engineered appliance that sits idle most of the day. The Bunn ICB Infusion Series Platinum Edition Tall Twin Coffee Brewer promises to solve that by letting you run two separate batches, one hot, one cold, or two different roast profiles without the need for two separate machines. That sounds great on paper, but the real question is how it behaves in the daily grind of a household or a small office. The first thing I noticed is the footprint. The unit is taller than a standard drip coffee maker, but because it's a twin system, it actually takes up less counter space than you'd need for two single brew units. If you have a dedicated coffee station or a pantry shelf, it fits nicely. If you're cramped on a tiny countertop, you'll have to think twice. The stainless steel body feels sturdy, and the twin chambers are clearly separated, which means you can keep a dark roast separate from a lighter blend without any cross-contamination. That separation is a real advantage for families where one person prefers a strong, bold cup and another likes a milder brew. For an office of 5 to 10 people, the twin setup shines. You can have one pot brewing a regular strength coffee for the early birds while the second pot runs a stronger, extra kick batch for the afternoon slump. The infusion, part of the name, refers to Bunn's method of pre-infusing the grounds, which many users claim gives a richer extraction compared to a simple pour-over. In practice, the coffee comes out with a noticeable body, nothing flashy, but a clear step up from a cheap filter machine. If you've ever tried to brew two different styles at once with a regular drip maker and ended up with a lukewarm compromise, this twin system eliminates that compromise. Now let's talk about who should actually buy this. If you run a small office, a co-working space, or a busy household where multiple people have distinct coffee preferences, the ability to brew two pots simultaneously saves time and reduces the who gets the last cup drama. It also works well for people who entertain guests regularly. You can have a regular pot for the adults and a decaf or specialty brew for kids without swapping filters or cleaning the machine between batches. The durability of the stainless steel housing means you won't be swapping it out after a few months, which adds to the long-term value. On the other hand, if you're a solo drinker who usually sticks to one roast and one strength, the twin feature becomes a luxury you'll rarely use. You'll end up paying for extra capacity you never need, and the taller design may actually be a nuisance in a small kitchen. Also, the machine doesn't come with a built-in grinder, so you still need to grind beans separately. For people who value a single-serve, on-the-spot grind and brew experience, a compact pod system or a standalone grinder plus drip combo would be more economical. One practical weakness that shows up after a few weeks of use is the cleaning routine. Because there are two brew chambers, each with its own drip tray and water reservoir, you have to remember to clean both sides. If you habitually clean only the side you use most, the neglected side can develop mineral buildup or stale coffee residues, which eventually affect flavor. The good news is that the components are removable and dishwasher safe, but you'll need to make a habit of rotating the cleaning schedule. For a busy office where someone is designated coffee steward, that's manageable. For a family where everyone just plugs it in and forgets, it can become a hidden maintenance cost. Another point that matters is the water heating speed. The Bunn series is known for its fast recovery time, and this model lives up to that reputation. From a cold start, it can get the first pot ready in under 3 minutes, which is impressive for a twin system. However, if you try to run both pots back-to-back, the second pot will finish a minute or two later because the heater has to bring a larger volume of water up to temperature. In most real-world scenarios, that delay is negligible. Most users are happy with the slight staggered finish, especially when the trade-off is having two distinct brews ready almost simultaneously. Energy consumption is another subtle factor. Because the unit heats a larger water volume than a single brew machine, it draws more power during the heating phase. If you're environmentally conscious or looking to keep your electricity bill low, you might want to weigh that against the convenience of having two pots ready at once. Some owners have reported using a timer plug to shut off the unit when not in use, which,